Hi, this is Carl, and this is another SOP video for managed service providers. Today I want to talk about developing an SOP mindset. What does that mean? So mindset, when you think about how do I think about SOPs every day, all the time, get everybody on my staff to be on board and to just have the mentality of standard operating procedures. Here's why this is important. You cannot control people. You cannot control employees. You can't control clients. You can't control the bank. You can't control your vendors. You can control your processes. And so part of this is when you start thinking in terms of processes, you can control everything. And that starts with rule number one, document everything. Document what you do, how you do it. Document what you did. So on one hand, when I say document everything you do, let's say that you have an invoicing process. Okay, that should be written out. Sit down, open QuickBooks, right? Merge with your PSA, whatever you need to do step by step so that if you hired somebody tomorrow, you could hand them a process and they would be able to execute it. So document everything is rule number one. Now, when I say document what you did, well, that means that, for example, you open up a ticket, you put in your notes, you say what you did to solve a problem, and then you close the ticket or move it to the next status or whatever. So there's two sides to that, document everything. Rule number two, this applies to everyone. So it's not just the technicians. It's the service manager has to document everything that goes on, every process, every procedure. The finance people, everybody in your company needs to document what they do and how they do it so that they can train somebody else. Everybody in your company needs a day off, right? Some people in your company are going to go on vacation. Some people in your company are going to move on and be employed somewhere else, right? Things happen. Also, people will get elevated to another job and then they need to hire and train their replacement. It's very easy to give them a piece of paper and say, there you go. There's your process. Go through that. We'll work on it together. If you find that anything's changed or whatever, you need to update it, so forth and so on, then you can do that. Acknowledge that everything can be documented. So rule number three is accept that you are not a snowflake. We like to think like, oh, everything is different. Every client is different. Every printer is different. Blah, blah, blah. And so we want to say, well, everything is unique. But that's not true. You are not a snowflake. Your company is not a snowflake. Your clients are not snowflakes. 90% of the time, 90% of your problems are 90% the same. The way that you fix a printer is mostly the same. The handful of problems that you come up with are mostly the same. And if you have the consistent brand name across many clients, then you do in fact see the exact same problems again and again and again. If you support Windows, then you have a set of problems that will crop up from time to time, and the fix is mostly the same across most of your clients. So you can't maybe document 100% of what's going to happen in the future, but you can document 90%. And that's the thing. Once you get to 90%, then you create a culture of documentation. So the culture says, look, this is the way that we approach problems. We're going to make sure that we back everything up. We'll make sure we have a trail so we can go back to where we started in case something goes wrong and we can't move forward. We're going to make sure that we've saved the client's data, make sure that we minimize downtime, tick, tick, tick. Whatever your rules are for how you proceed, they will flow through all of your documentation. And then when your employees get to that 10% and there's something that they can't find documentation for, they can still execute consistent with your processes and procedures because they know how you approach things. They know your way of doing business. Once things are documented, they can be repeated and improved over time, right? So, you move from that everything is unique mentality to, hey, we've got most of this stuff documented and we've got everybody trained so that they can take care of us through the culture in anything that's not documented. One of my favorite graphics of all time is a shot from NASA about the checklist that the astronauts used when they were on the moon. How do you do a moonwalk? Right? No one's ever done it before. You're 30,000 miles away from home and you can't miss a step. Right? So it would suck to get all the way back home and say, oh, did you get that rock with the little crystal sticking out? No. Well, go back and get it. Yeah, that's not an option. So if you need to execute it perfectly, you need a checklist. So develop a mentality of checklists, and when people come into your business, say, here you go, here's how we do things, and for every single task, give them a checklist. Give them something to do that's based on a standardized process. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Palachuk wishing you the best of luck in your managed service business. Like it if you like it, share it with your friends, and absolutely subscribe to the channel.